Hello to all our audience tuning into our channel. We're so glad to have you with us. Stay tuned for exciting content. Let's get started.
The story opens with a theatrical performance of Shakespeare's The Tempest at what appears to be Arkham Asylum. Inmates are performing various roles, with dialogue including Prospero's threats and Ariel's famous song Full Fathom 5. The performance becomes chaotic when an inmate has an outburst, leading to violence and disruption. Guards intervene to control the situation, with someone being told to get back and stay down. The asylum setting and introduces the volatile nature of the inmates, while showcasing how cultural activities like theater can trigger unpredictable responses. The Shakespeare quotes about transformation and power, "His art is of such power," seem to foreshadow themes of control and manipulation that will likely play out throughout the story. The theatrical setting provides an ironic backdrop to the real drama unfolding in the asylum. Following the theater incident, director Dr. Lang reprimands Officer Gordon for the security failure, threatening to put him on remedial duty if more incidents occur. Gordon requests medical attention for the injured inmate, leading to the introduction of Dr. Leslie Tompkins from the female ward. She reveals Gordon's reputation as the famous Detective Jim Gordon, noting how the female inmates discuss his fall from grace after fighting City Hall. Dr. Tompkins expresses admiration for Gordon's principles, suggesting he's not giving up despite his current circumstances. Their conversation hints at Gordon's past as a detective and his current punishment assignment at the asylum. The chapter establishes the institutional hierarchy, with Dr. Lang as an authoritarian administrator more concerned with appearances than patient welfare. It also introduces a potential ally for Gordon in Dr. Tompkins, who sees his current situation as admirable rather than shameful. The dynamic between Gordon's past reputation and present circumstances creates tension that suggests larger conflicts ahead. Shifts focus to two characters outside the asylum. Ivy, who appears to be ill and refusing medical attention. Ivy is described as shivery and clearly unwell, possibly withdrawing from medication or treatment. Her companion leads her to an abandoned house, assuring her the owners aren't coming back due to dust and rotting smells. Ivy's fear of doctors, never ever again, suggests previous traumatic medical experiences, possibly at Arkham or similar institutions. The abandoned house serves as a temporary refuge, though Ivy remains anxious about the real people returning home. Her companion's knowledge of the empty house and evasiveness about ownership raises questions about their background and intentions. In Gotham's criminal underworld, the Penguin attempts to raise protection rates from local business owners who pay Don Maroney. Despite resistance, Penguin dismisses concerns with threats and claims of police corruption. When the owners call the police, corrupt officers support Penguin rather than arrest him. The chapter introduces Frogman, connected to both the criminal world and the asylum setting. Penguin's crude business tactics and reliance on corrupt law enforcement illustrate Gotham's systematic corruption. Casual violence and intimidation show how criminal organizations maintain control through fear. The chapter establishes the broader criminal ecosystem surrounding Arkham, suggesting that the asylum exists within a city where law and order have broken down at multiple levels. Back at Arkham, a medical examination reveals that Frogman has been subjected to crude electroshock therapy with metal needles inserted into his brain and excessive voltage applied, leaving him brain dead but still breathing. Dr. Tompkins explains this as an invasive modification technique gone wrong. Director Lang dismisses calling the GCPD, classifying it as an in-house medical issue since Frogman is technically still alive. He assigns Gordon to investigate and identify which inmate was responsible, demanding a report by Friday. The chapter reveals the asylum's inadequate security, with skeleton staff and zero surveillance in an unsafe and unsecure 200-year-old maze. Lang's refusal to involve outside authorities and his focus on maintaining institutional control over genuine investigation suggests corruption or incompetence. The brutal nature of the attack and the primitive medical technique indicate either amateur experimentation or deliberate torture. Gordon's assignment to investigate while being blamed for security failures places him in an impossible position, forced to solve crimes while lacking proper resources or authority. Gordon investigates a murder case in Arkham, focusing on the perpetrator's anatomy knowledge, electrical skills, and access to door keys. He interviews guard Stephen Wenger, who lost his keys during a theater performance fight and secretly replaced them to avoid paydocking. The investigation includes inmate interviews with Jack Gruber, a sociopath with a history of rape and murder, and Aaron, a poor, peaceful soul despite his violent past. The criminal subplot continues with family power struggles and territory disputes. The investigation reveals the complex psychology of Arkham's inmates, where violent histories mix with mental illness and manipulation. Gordon's methodical approach contrasts with the chaotic environment and administrative pressure to quickly identify a culprit. The scene revolves around Gordon's investigation into criminal family politics and the ongoing debate over the effectiveness of electrode wounds. Royston, another victim, is found with less severe brain damage, suggesting experimentation rather than random violence. Gordon suspects staff involvement, despite lacking authority to investigate employees. The criminal subplot involves Fish Mooney's organization discussing strategy against Maroney, with Butch being approached by Jimmy Saviano to switch sides. Dr. Lang objects to Gordon's expanded investigation scope, but he reveals he has already called the police. The parallel storylines highlight corruption and power struggles at both institutional and criminal levels, with loyalty tested and alliances shifting based on opportunity and survival. Detective Harvey Bullock arrives to take over the official investigation, immediately clashing with Dr. Lang over authority and procedure. Meanwhile, personal drama unfolds as Barbara struggles with her relationship with Renee, acknowledging their toxic dynamic involving drinking and drugs. Barbara ultimately decides to end their relationship, recognizing that she needs help Renee cannot provide. The asylum investigation intensifies as another inmate appears reciting Shakespeare, and Bullock's aggressive approach contrasts with Gordon's methodical style. Dr. Lang faces arrest as a suspect due to his medical skills and suspicious behavior in trying to keep the investigation internal. The investigation takes a crucial turn when Gordon and Dr. Tompkins discover that Dorothy Duncan, believed to be a staff nurse, is actually a longtime inmate who survived the asylum's closure by hiding in the basement. Duncan, who killed 5 children with poison candy as a teenager, had been conducting the electroshock experiments. However, when Duncan is found dead with similar electrode wounds, it becomes clear she was another victim rather than the perpetrator. The real mastermind is revealed to be Jack Gruber, the manipulative inmate Gordon interviewed earlier. Aaron, the childlike inmate who killed his family, appears to be under Gruber's control, suggesting successful mind control experiments. Dr. Lang is attacked and barely survives to identify Gruber as the true culprit. Gruber escapes, leaving behind a letter explaining his experimentation with electricity and mind control, calling Aaron his best work so far. The final scene of the story reveals Gruber's method of perfecting mind control through electroshock therapy, with Aaron as his creation. It also highlights Butch's decision to betray Fish Mooney, revealing his past betrayal, highlighting guilt over past dishonesty. The Penguin faces consequences for raising taxes without Maroney's permission, leading to imprisonment and humiliation. Maroney's lesson about hubris reinforces the criminal hierarchy's strict power structure. Gordon's successful resolution of the case demonstrates his detective skills despite his fall from grace.